Good morning. It's June 2nd, and this is your daily brief in science. Here's everything you need to know. Shionogi announced the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has granted approval for Xocova, or ensitrelvir, as post-exposure prophylaxis for COVID-19 in adults and adolescents 12 years and older, making it the first and only oral option for preventing COVID-19 after exposure in today's therapeutic landscape. In SCORPIO-PEP trials, common side effects were headache, diarrhea, and cough, with a safety profile showing no deaths attributed to the drug and adverse events that were manageable. The primary endpoint showed a 67% reduction in the risk of developing post-exposure prophylaxis symptoms by day 10 for the 125 mg dose versus placebo, and the median time to symptom resolution favored 125 mg at about 168 hours compared with about 192 hours for placebo. Shionogi cited June 1, 2026 as the announcement date, with details attributed to the article author and publication, and Reuters noted May 31, 2026 as the publication date for the coverage. The article links to related endpoints pieces and references broader Food and Drug Administration news and industry moves, while noting subscription prompts. Forward-looking statements warn of risks and regulatory considerations that could affect future outcomes, and disclosures acknowledge typical regulatory, manufacturing, and market risks that could influence uptake. The New England Journal of Medicine article by Hayden et al. Details the SCORPIO-PEP data, with Shionogi emphasizing the practical importance of post-exposure prophylaxis in real-world settings. Market context mentions year-to-date stock performance, trading volume, and buy sentiment, alongside Shionogi's approximate market capitalization. Shionogi's profile includes about 4,955 employees and a global focus on research and development, manufacturing, and marketing across multiple regions, with the approval coming ahead of the Prescription Drug User Fee Act action date and suggesting potential use beyond households, including nursing homes, care facilities, and travel-related exposures. A personalized mRNA cancer vaccine shows striking 5-year results in a trial of 157 patients with stage 3 or higher melanoma, with about 70% cancer-free after 5 years versus 49% on standard therapy. The vaccine is tailored to each patient by sequencing the tumor to select roughly 20 to 34 neoantigens, with Moderna manufacturing the patient-specific vaccine. If validated, this approach could extend beyond melanoma to cancers like pancreatic and lung cancer, leveraging advances in immunotherapy and broader mRNA use. The study, led by NYU Langone Health and presented at ASCO, aims for publication in the Journal of Clinical Oncology. While results are promising, experts caution that applicability to other cancers remains under investigation, though the potential impact on oncology is significant. Irish stakeholders welcomed the breakthrough but pressed for faster access and clearer paths to approval and reimbursement within Ireland. Skin cancer remains the most common cancer in the United States, with substantial incidence and mortality anticipated this year by the American Cancer Society. During follow-up, 71 deaths occurred across groups, mostly cancer-related. Side effects were generally manageable, including fatigue, injection site pain, and chills. The findings involve 107 U.S. patients and international sites, with 5-year follow-up data presented after long-term observation. Vaccine recipients reported better quality of life during treatment, with mild, short-lived side effects similar to a COVID-19 vaccine. Results were shared at a Chicago conference and in the Journal of Clinical Oncology, showing lasting tumor control after 5 years, but no clear overall survival benefit due to small sample size and non-blinded design. Experts warn results do not prove a survival benefit yet and highlight questions about real-world applicability, manufacturing logistics, and cost, with prices discussed around €300,000 per patient for personalized vaccines. A long-period transient called ASKAP J 1745-5051 has now been identified as the first source to show accretion-driven activity across radio, optical, and X-ray wavelengths. This multi-wavelength record provides a framework for deciphering similar signals and could serve as a Rosetta Stone for understanding long-period transients. The study lays out a concrete mechanism and observational path across wavelengths, enabling a clearer interpretation of diverse systems. These extreme environments, strong magnetic fields, intense gravity, and high-energy particle flows, are not replicable on Earth, making this object an essential astrophysical laboratory. Continued data collection across ASKAP, MeerKAT, optical facilities, and space observatories is planned to probe emission mechanisms and prevalence. X-rays come from material that hits the white dwarf, while radio emissions originate from magnetic field interactions, explaining why their peaks are not synchronized. In ASKAP J 1745-5051, a white dwarf accretes gas from a companion, heating it to emit X-rays and producing focused radio bursts that repeat with the orbital period. The non-coincidence of X-ray and radio peaks indicates distinct emission regions linked to accretion and magnetic activity within the binary. This object is highlighted as a key reference in the study of long-period radio transients. An international collaboration spans multiple countries with funding from OSGRAV, NASA, the Sloan Foundation, and ERC, leveraging facilities including ASKAP, ATCA, MeerKAT, SOAR, Magellan, SWIFT, and Einstein probe. The findings appear in Nature Astronomy, signaling peer-reviewed confirmation. Combining radio, optical, and X-ray data is essential to building a complete picture of these complex systems and advancing understanding of transient cosmic events. A British Paralympian and surgeon could be the first person with a physical disability to live in orbit if Haven 1 proceeds with a 2027 launch. John McFall was selected for the European Space Agency's astronaut program in 2022 and was medically cleared for a long-duration mission last year, positioning him as a trailblazer for inclusive spaceflight. His research aims to advance understanding of osteoporosis and muscle wastage in microgravity, with potential benefits for disabled people through more adaptable prosthetics and rehabilitation programs. Haven 1 is described as a state-of-the-art, human-centric space station that will host an innovation lab for private and government missions, signaling growth in commercial space stations and inclusive research opportunities. The UK Space Minister's Office has publicly supported the mission and highlighted its emphasis on inclusivity in spaceflight, with UKSA coordinating potential sponsorship and navigating regulatory requirements to demonstrate inclusive human spaceflight and expand collaboration with the United States in research, technology, education, and public engagement. The mission would use SpaceX's Crew Dragon for transport and depends on Haven 1's launch next year, with sponsorships intended to cover the full mission cost. Haven 1 is designed to house up to 4 astronauts, featuring a maplewood interior, a domed Earth observation window, and a microgravity laboratory for research, developed with UK-US partnerships. VAST CEO Max Hayout emphasizes collaboration with the UK government to expand access to space, promote crew inclusivity, and enable medical research that benefits humanity. The mission will pursue pioneering research in human physiology, musculoskeletal adaptation, prosthetics performance in microgravity, and how people move and balance in space. McFall notes his family remains grounded and humorously hopes for a family dog if he goes to space, underscoring personal considerations alongside scientific aims. This initiative would mark the first British astronaut in space since Tim Peake's 2016 ISS mission, signaling a potential revival of UK presence in human spaceflight. A 4-meter-deep dig beneath Notre Dame's forecourt is peeling back 2,000 years of Parisian history, from Roman Lutetia through Merovingian and Carolingian eras. Archaeologists are systematically exposing layers beneath the forecourt as part of an ongoing urban renovation, aiming to understand Roman Paris and earlier settlements beyond the visible cathedral. This temporary excavation, integrated with a broader plan to beautify the area, seeks to reveal centuries of history by reaching deeper strata under the forecourt. Finds so far include late Roman to medieval waste deposits, jugs, cups, ceramics, bones, and nearly complete vessels, many preserved by ancient drainage. Coins and other artifacts help date the layers, with Constantine coins serving as anchors for deeper strata. The redevelopment includes a shaded square with trees and water features and repurposes an old underground parking area into a visitor center overlooking the Seine, targeted for completion by 2028. About 160 trees are planned along with a cooling water feature, and the forecourt project aims to finish by 2028 to provide shade during heat waves. The forecourt redesign intends a woodland feel with trees and water while transforming the former underground parking into a public visitor hub. Key finds include a 4th century Constantine coin, intact medieval pottery with internal markings, and Roman-era artifacts such as a doorstep repurposed as paving, illustrating Paris's layered history. Researchers study the stratigraphy to show how Paris built over older civilizations, with Roman Lutetia beneath later medieval development on the Ile de la Cité. New remains from Lutetia and deeper Merovingian and Carolingian layers, grain pits and a dense Roman quarter from the 4th and 5th centuries, have been uncovered. The dig proceeds under careful planning to safeguard undiscovered remains during construction, reflecting Paris's dedication to preserving history beneath modern infrastructure. This has been your daily brief in science. To read more about these stories, follow the links in the episode bio. You can also subscribe to these updates via email at www.brief.news. For more daily podcasts about the topics you love, visit brief.news/podcasts. Tune in tomorrow. We'll be back with everything you need to know.